This gets a little gritty, so stick with me. I'm going to get this selection again. Here we go. Let's get this selection. Nice, nice, nice. Looking good. Let's say that that's good enough. We'll make fixes to it in a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this layer right here, and I'm going to take out the paintbrush. Now, we haven't used the paintbrush yet, and it's a good thing. So using the paint, hold up, I'm running into a bit of a mistake. I'm running into a problem, and a lesser teacher would pause the video here and fix it, and then say, this is what I did to fix it. But me, not being that lesser teacher, is saying, okay, I have a problem. Rather than it showing up as a brush icon, why does it have this cross through it? Now I could click, and it'll probably tell me, could not use the brush tool because the target layer is hidden. Whenever you have a problem, the first place to look is at your layers. I need to turn this on. Now it works. All right, I'm going to decrease the size of this brush right here, just by going right here in the options palette. And I'm going to start brushing things in. Now, right now, you should be asking, what is happening and how is he doing this? Now, what we have right here on this color adjustment layer is a black and white image. And I'm going to click on it, or in fact, I'm actually going to alt click on it, which is something I doubt you'll do all that often. It just kind of shows it in big person. You see it on the screen. You see it in the canvas. And it allows you to see exactly what's happening in this black and white image. And what's happening in this black and white image is wherever it's white, the color adjustment layer actually affects the lower layers below it. Wherever it's painted black, the color adjustment layer actually doesn't. So I'm going to deselect this, select, deselect, and then I'm going to press right here on invert. And you look at what happened right there. Let me undo that. And let me actually make my layers a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay, so now you can actually see what's happening. When I pressed invert, it made everything that was black white and everything that was white black, which is actually what we want right here. So all I need to do is use my paint tool, and I can actually paint on with white, undo that, or I can paint on with black, whatever's the foreground color, paints it on in that color. So there we go. Here we go. And I'm just going to paint it in pretty loosely in all of these different areas. And this allows me to paint in the color exactly how I want. Now let me be clear again what's happening. All I'm doing is I'm painting on in this black and white image, and the color adjustment layer only affects where it is painted in as white. I think that's clear. Now I'm going to use my lasso tool, and I'm just going to pretty loosely just select around the areas that I want to be painted as black. And because we have set an active region, I can only paint inside of the active region. So let me show you what's happening here. Or here, let's go back to this. I'm going to use my lasso tool. Here we go. Just going to use my lasso tool, select around this right here. Looks pretty good. I'm going to alt click to look at this. And now when I paint, if I paint anywhere outside of the active region, I'm not able to change things. I'm only able to change things inside of this active region, which is pretty great for getting very specific painting done. So if I were to go down here, I could go in with my brush, and let me actually decrease the size of the brush right here. Now, you'll see I'm getting the X again. Could not rasterize because the pixel data for this layer is not directly editable. That's not very helpful. What this is telling me is even though the layer is on, I don't have the mask part of it selected. So it's the difference between having this selected and having this selected. Now you can see that the annoying part of Photoshop is knowing all of these little tiny things that there's no reason you would know unless you have me as a guide. And that's why I'm here, and it's great. And I love you too. And that's why I'm going through all of these things. And it's just a matter of, even though these are all individually really simple tools, all I'm using is the brush and painting on this color adjustment layer. There is no way you would guess that this is how to accomplish this feat. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you get used to it after a while, but it's not a very intuitive way. Don't ask me what a more intuitive way to do this is, because I assure you, I don't know. After a while, you don't really think about the fact that you're painting it in with black and white. You just set the foreground to black, and you set the background color to white, and then you just kind of switch between the two of them. Can I give you a shortcut key? If you press X, just the letter X, it will switch your foreground and background color. X, X. So the reason that's great is if you click on mask and they're set to black and white, and you can actually click this tiny little icon right here. Here, let's say this was set to red. You can click this tiny little icon right here to automatically switch them to black and white, the default colors. So here we go, black and white, and then press X to switch between the two of them. So if I'm painting on and I accidentally paint in the wrong direction, well, first I'd undo it, and then I'd press X, and then I'd be painting in the right direction. So I normally don't worry about, all right, is white meaning that the color shows up and black means that the color disappears, or is it the other way around? That's actually way too confusing for me. All that I care about is I click on this little black and white image right here. I make sure that this is set to black and white, and then I just start going at it. I make sure I have my brush tool selected. I'll adjust the size of the brush up here, and then I'll just kind of start making changes. If it's in the wrong direction, I press undo, and then I hit X to flip the two colors. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and paint this out right here. You'll notice that it's not painting out. I'm not worrying about, is this white, is this black, what's going on in this image down here. All I'm going to do is hit X, and hey, all of my problems are solved. So let me actually show you this one more time because I feel it was a little bit confusing. I'm going to get out of this. Here, that looks pretty good. Before, after, I'm pretty happy with that right there. Are there fancier things that I could do? Yes, but we're not going to do them right now. Let me actually show you what I did one more time.